But how much of all that can be used in court? We're joined now by criminal lawyer Michael Shapray. Mr. Shapray, first can I ask you, what's your explanation for why this process has taken so long? The riot was back in June.
Well, the police have decided that they are going to be very thorough in terms of their review of all of the evidence. They solicited evidence from the public and have brought production orders against the media to get video footage. And they have said that they've taken this time to ensure that their files are complete when they deliver them to the Crown this morning.
Can you speak to us, sir, about these pictures and video as evidence in court? Because I think many Canadians saw these very nice, well-defined pictures of so many of the perpetrators. I think many of us thought that the perps have been caught dead to rights.
Well, that is the case. Still photography is much harder to deal with than videotape evidence. The still photographs need a context, and as we know from the famous photograph of the couple lying on the street, some things aren't always what they seem in still photography. So the video evidence is probably going to be more compelling in court because it'll show an entire sequence of events, and we'll still need people who took that video or who took the photographs to testify in court as to what they saw and what they were doing at the time.
Really? So if these people do not come forward, then what they shot cannot be used?
Well, there are rules of evidence, and generally when someone has taken a photograph or a videotape, they would be called as a witness to testify that that is an accurate photograph that they took at a particular time. It is possible for other witnesses to come and say that a particular photograph or a particular video accurately depicts something that they saw at a particular time, but generally you want the person who actually took the footage to come to court. Less so with video, but certainly with still photography.
So as we look, as you and I are talking, we're showing people at home a lot of that video, which I'm sure you've seen over and over again on many news programs. But what are the charges that you would expect people to face in the wake of this?
Well, there's a whole range of charges that could come out of this. There's obviously the general charge of participating in a riot, but there are many other offenses such as assaults causing bodily harm, break and enter into commercial establishments, theft. Those type of charges could all arise out of this. Mischief when there's damage to property. So the whole range of assaults and property damage as well as riot-related charges.
I think an awful lot of folks, especially those people that live in Vancouver, think there are greater crimes. And the greater crimes are, and these aren't written down in the law anywhere, acting stupidly, irresponsibly, setting a bad example, shaming your city, shaming your neighbors, everyone that lives here. And it seems that there are an awful lot of people want to see the perpetrators punished. Does that work its way? Does that attitude work its way into the system somehow? Does that attitude show up in court?
I don't think that that is going to impact how judges deal with sentencing. I think the judges are going to look at precedents from other cases and what the general range of sentences are for these offenses, and then look at the background of each particular person who is charged and or convicted down the road to determine sentencing. Every serious criminal offense has calls from the public for harsher punishments and more severe sentencing. This is a high-profile incident that's going to lead to many charges, and there are a lot of heated passions about it. But I think the sentencing itself, when it comes down to that time and the judges looking at the person in front of them, is going to be based on all of the laws in that area.
If we have quite a bunch of charges laid against quite a few people all at the same time, does that put a strain on the system?
Yeah, it's not easy to tell right now whether or not there's going to be a whole series of guilty pleas because people's offenses are caught on video, or if a number of people are going to take their cases to trial. That'll have an impact on it. But certainly our system is very strained in British Columbia right now, and if they lay 500 to 700 charges as they've talked about over the next year, the system is going to have a great deal of problems handling that at once.
Michael Shapray is a criminal lawyer. Nice to speak to you, sir. Thank you for helping us out with this.
Not a problem. Thank you.